Let's create one more tutorial in FreeCAD. In this tutorial, you'll learn to create this Collet Chuck, and we'll learn to use the features Revolve, Pocket, and Polar Pattern. So open the FreeCAD and let's go. The first step to create this Collet Chuck, we will select the right plane and make this sketch here. It will be in the right plane, and look that we have a hole here through all this body. So the first thing that we'll make, we will create a center line here with 18 millimeters of length, and here will be the midpoint. And then we will create another line here. This line will be the radius here, so the distance between this line and the center line is 3/2, the radius of this diameter. So let's create this. Go to create a sketch, select the right plane, select the line, activate the construction geometry, click here in the midpoint, 18 millimeters. Let me move this a little bit. And select the line again, remove the construction geometry, make a line here. Go to constraint, select equal, select this line and this construction geometry, and go to dimension. The distance between these two lines is 1.5 millimeters. And now we will look to this sketch. We have all the dimensions here in section A. And the first thing that we make here, we will create this line here and this one. The angle between this line and the center line, or this line here, is 30 degrees, 60/2. And the distance between this point here and the midpoint will be the radius of this part, so it will be 11.5/2. So let's create this. Select polyline, select this point here, make a line here and another one here. It is orange because we have two constraints here. This line is vertical and coincident to this point, so it is the same thing. Just delete the coincident here. And now go to sketch dimension. The angle here, 30 degrees. And the distance between this point and the midpoint is 11.5/2. And here, move this point here a little bit. And let me move the dimension here. Okay. And now, look at this sketch. We have a line here with 0.1 millimeters. And the distance between this point and this point here will be 2.5 millimeters. So select the line, click at this point. This line has 0.5 millimeters of length, 0.1, sorry. And it is a horizontal line. Let me move the dimension here a little bit. And go to dimension. The distance between this point here and the midpoint is 2.5 millimeters. And press OK. We made this one. Let me move the dimensions a little bit. Okay. And now, at this point here, we will make these three lines. The distance between this line and this one is 2 millimeters. And the distance between this line here and the midpoint will be 9.5/2. And make sure that this point here and this point here will be horizontal vertical. Okay? So select polyline, click at this point, make a line here. And here go to constraints, horizontal vertical, select this point and this point here. And go to dimension. The length here is 2 millimeters. Look that the line is moving here to this side. So let me correct this. I will delete this line. I need to delete this line too, sorry. And make a line here with 0.1 and another line here. Sometimes we got some errors here, but no problem, okay? Select this point or select this line will be better to select this line here. The distance between this line here and this one will be 2.5 millimeters. And the distance between this line here and the center line is 9.5 over 2. And make sure that this point here is horizontal vertical with this one. Okay, let me move the dimension here a little bit. And now look at this dimension here. It means that we have a line here with 0.35 millimeters of length, and we have this line here and this one. The angle between this line and this one will be 8 degrees, a half of 16. So let's create this. Select the polyline, click here at this point, make a line here. That's it. And now go to sketch dimension. This line here has 0.35 millimeters of length. The angle between this line and this one will be 8 degrees. Let me move the dimension here. So that's it. And now leave the sketch and go to Revolve features. And the axis here, select the horizontal axis to create this body and press OK. We made this one. And now we will select the back face, the back here. And in the back face, we will create a cut. And this cut it is a rectangle with 0.2 millimeters, the distance between this line and this line here. And we will need to cut this from the bottom to this point. So it will be 17 millimeters. Okay. And this rectangle will be in the center. So let's create this. Rotate this a little bit, select this face and go to create a sketch. And here we will select a center rectangle. Click here, make a rectangle here. The distance here is 0.2 millimeters and the distance here can be 10 millimeters. Let me move the dimensions here a little bit. And here go to constraints and select horizontal vertical, select this point and the midpoint. Or let me move this here. Maybe it don't understand. So go to horizontal vertical, select it, or go to coincident, it's better. Select the midpoint and this line here. Okay, we'll make a rectangle here. And finish the sketch here. And go to pocket. And the length here is 17 millimeters. And press OK. And now we needed to create more cuts. So to make this, we use the polar pattern. We have 1, 2, 3, 8 cuts. So we'll go to polar pattern. And here in the polar pattern, select transform two shapes, select add features, and click here in this face. And the axis here, select the y-axis, and the occurrence is 8. And press OK. We made the cut here. And now we will create the same but in the front face. And here in the front face, we needed to create a center line here and another center line here. The angle between these two construction lines is 22.5 degrees. And the rectangle here is the same with 0.2 millimeters by 10 millimeters. And the distance that we need to create a cut will be 18 minus 1, the distance here, 17 millimeters, is the same thing, but in the other face. And we needed to create this angle here, okay? So go to select this face and go to create a sketch. And here, select line, construction geometry. Click here in the midpoint, make a construction line here. And now make another construction line here. And go to dimension. The angle here is 22.5 degrees. And the length of this line here, we use 10 millimeters. And now we needed to create a rectangle here around this line. So remove the construction geometry, select a centered rectangle, click here in this line, make a rectangle here. And now we will remove the horizontal and vertical constraints of this rectangle. And now go to constraints, select perpendicular, select this line here and this one, this line here and this one, this line here and this one. And now we will select this line and this one. Okay? And now go to constraint, select coincident, select this line here and this point here. Select this line here and the midpoint here. And go to dimension. The distance between these two lines here is 0.2 millimeters. And here make sure that it is in the center. The distance here will be 0.1 millimeters of length. Okay. And now we need to make a cut here. So leave the sketch and go to pocket. The length 17 millimeters. And press OK. And now go to polar pattern and select transform two shapes, add features, select this face here. And the axis here, select the y-axis, the occurrence 8, and press OK. We made this one. So here we finish our exercise. So thanks for watching. Subscribe my channel for more and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.